Want to know how Bitcoin works? You've probably heard that Bitcoin and blockchain technology is a revolutionary invention. Well, it is. For the first time ever, we now have the ability to send digital payments to each other in a completely decentralized manner. Up until 2009, we needed a bank, a credit card, or another intermediary like PayPal to middleman our digital transactions. Well, those days are over. Everyone can now be their own bank. No financial institution required anymore to store your funds and send or receive transactions. All we need now is more adoption, which will come with time. If you're watching this before 2025, you're one of the early ones. So, you might be wondering how it all works. From the moment you send a transaction to when your friend receives it, what was happening under the hood, so to speak, to make it happen? Well, that's the question this video is going to answer. Bitcoin transaction processing explained. When you send a transaction, you're essentially broadcasting it to the network. The transaction details will include information such as your public address, the recipient's public address, and the amount of Bitcoin being sent. Once the transaction gets broadcasted, it'll get picked up by nodes on the network, called full nodes, which will validate the details. What details? They'll make sure that the sender has an adequate amount of Bitcoin to cover the amount being sent, and that the inputs of the transaction have not been previously spent. Once the transaction has been validated, it then gets added to a pool of unconfirmed transactions, known as the mempool. Think of the mempool like a storage and sorting area for fresh transactions before being added to a newly created block. The next step, obviously, is to confirm the transactions by adding them to a block for the blockchain. This is done through a process called mining, which is handled by miners, people, who are running miner nodes. A miner node can be a computer, server, or specialized mining rig, like the Antminer S19 Pro. New blocks are created by solving complex math problems, which require a great deal of computational power. That's basically what mining refers to in the context of proof-of-work blockchains. Once a new block, which contains a list of recent transactions, is created by the miner who successfully solved the math puzzle, it then gets broadcasted to the network. When this happens, the other miners on the network will verify the block to make sure it's valid. Then it'll get added to the blockchain. The miners, who first solved the problem to create the block, will receive the block reward. This reward gets paid out in both transaction fees and newly minted Bitcoin. The mining rewards are hard-coded to progressively decrease every 210,000 blocks, which is known as the Bitcoin halving. Once a transaction has been included in a block, it is then considered to be confirmed. A confirmed transaction, by definition, means that it has been accepted by the network and can't be reversed. There's something called public key cryptography, which also plays a major role in the Bitcoin transaction process. But I'll be doing a video explaining how that works soon, so subscribe if you want to learn more.